Hello again, my name is Lance White. I'm the Director of Business Development here at IDS, and we're continuing our series on people of the steel industry. I think that the people in the industry are just as important as the projects that we do. Today I have the great pleasure of sitting down with our owner and CEO, Michelle Smith. Michelle's journey with IDS began when she was in high school checking shop drawings. She officially joined the team in 2004, became a full-time employee in 2010, and after earning her MBA, took the reins of CEO in 2017. Welcome, Michelle.
Hi.
Let's get started with, how about the history of IDS? Can you kind of give us a brief overview of when and why the company was founded, key milestones, and the legacy of its founder, who just happens to be your dad?
Yep, sure. So all growing up, my dad had this ambition to own his own company. He wanted to, revolutionize and do his own thing. And when I was in high school, he had the opportunity to strike out on his own. He had some contacts overseas, and he really felt like he could do it. And so I watched him, sit at our kitchen table and create his business plan and really formulate the founding of IDS right in our little apartment, just me and him. And he started with a team of 4 or 5 people, and within a year, he had convinced me to leave my job at Old Navy and come work for him. And I started doing, document control and, various office tasks after high school. Very quickly got into learning, how to read drawings. And as he was growing his team over the next few years, grew very quickly up to several hundred people in the Philippines. And I spent some time in the Philippines learning how to check drawings. And I went to college in my dorm room with a 11x17 printer and connection to the server, and spent my my summers doing drawing checking and some light project manager stuff, and really just kind of got the nuts and bolts of it. And from there wasn't really anything else I wanted to do. So he was an engineer, and he was very good at the technical side, and I am, I felt very connected to all of my business classes. So I took the path of going into business and giving him the finance and the HR and the business side of things. And so we were really a great team of technical engineering and business together. And from there, we grew it up to having offices in India and, branching out into other departments from there. And that's kind of where it went.
Nice. Now, since you became CEO in 2017, what kind of changes or growth have you overseen during your tenure now that you're the head honcho around here?
So one of the first big initiatives was getting our women-owned business certification, which is a pretty lengthy process, but it's something that I'm really proud that we have, and that we have those opportunities available to us. Another big initiative was to separate out our sales, production, and quality departments. In years past, it was all, as a small company, everybody kind of does everything, right? And as you grow, you need more division of labor, right? So sales is its own thing, production's its own thing, quality is its own thing, and it really helps to elevate every department and prevent them from kind of overlapping and forgetting things. And we have a lot more accountability in place in that.
I think it really improves quality, and I think they call it the fox guard in the hen house.
Yes.
We can't have everybody being looped in together, but by having everything separately, everybody's responsible for their own quality. So I think that's really important.
Exactly.
So how about an overview of the IDS structure, size of the team, the different offices, and how it's all organized?
So total, we've got just over 500 people. So here in St. Louis is our management office. We've got 22 people here. And this is really the core of where we interact with our customers and really direct the projects. I've got about 15 offices spread between India and the Philippines, all our own offices, all our own employees, and that's where the production happens. All the work goes from there through St. Louis and then on to our customers. I've got a separate QA department and a separate engineering department that work separately from production to manage what's going on and manage their own workflow.
And if I'm not mistaken, we also have a software development arm.
We do have a software development arm for Giza.
Yeah.
And that's something that we're really proud of. That was one of Tom's visions of the next the next level of engineering, really, the software that makes it so much easier to design connections. And it's really revolutionized the way that we do connection design. So our team of software developers, as well as our management here with Ben in the St. Louis office, is really important to the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you touched on this a little bit about separating quality and the project management. What is your approach to quality assurance with the project managers here and with the teams overseas?
Yeah, so starting with our QA department, having that really separate, they are not working on projects. They're only focused on quality. So our goal is to catch the errors before they happen. So they're doing a lot of training ahead of time. They are continually training our groups on Fabricator standards, on best practices in Tekla and STS2, in really monitoring what's going on the jobs to make sure that they're going well. So our goal is to send it out for approval correct. And then in the St. Louis office, they are also monitoring what's going on, and we really take a proactive approach to quality. We do a lot of the work up front. It's a little bit more expensive, but it saves a lot of money on the back end.
Yeah. Proactive is always better than reactive,
Exactly,
especially in this business.
Exactly.
I promised everybody there'd be no hard questions, but there is one semi-sticky one. There's often a stigma about overseas detailing in our industry. What do you think is the most common misconception, and what kind of things do we do here at IDS to circumvent that?
Yeah, I think a lot of people think that when it comes to overseas detailers, it's just a bunch of people making pennies in a big office. They don't necessarily have experience. They're not very good. They're just doing it for really cheap. And while there are those companies out there, that's kind of a misconception for what the good overseas detailers are. There's a lot of smart people over there, and there's a lot of training that happens. With our offices specifically, I've got employees that have been working for me for 15, 20 years over there, and they're the best of the best. We pay fair and competitive wages, and we're able, there's a lot more manpower availability there than there is in the US. So we've taken advantage of that and really developed our team there. But they're all very dedicated and smart people, right? They've gone through years and years of training to get to where they are. So they produce just as good of a quality as anywhere else in the world.
Very good. This is probably unfair to ask the CEO since you own the company, but what do you think distinguishes IDS from other detailing companies? Specifically, and you just kind of did this a little bit, speaking to the people behind the work, including the teams in the Philippines and India, and how the clients benefit from having our English-speaking PMs here in the St. Louis headquarters.
Yeah, and so one of the challenges with overseas detailers, obviously, is they're on a different time zone, and English is their second language, and that can be hard to manage and get a hold of. So that's one of our founding principles here, is to always have a U.S. presence here. We are in your same time zone, or an hour off if you're on the East Coast or West Coast. But we are here available. You can come visit our office. You can pick up the phone. You can get us in normal business hours. But we have the backing of our overseas team. So if something comes in at the end of our day, we actually have the ability to get it done overnight and have it ready for you in the morning. So we utilize that as an advantage instead of blaming it as an excuse for why we can't get something. So, one of the benefits is, we are just a phone call away here, and you can get us whenever you need.
Very good. Now, I've only been with the IDS family here for about a year, but one of the biggest things I heard when I came in was how good the company culture is, and it has been excellent. And I think you have a lot to do with that. What do you think makes the company culture here different at IDS?
I think that we have a very an autonomous, trustworthy system, right? I trust my people to do their job, and I give them the flexibility to do that. I think if you don't trust your employees, then what's the point, right? So I think I don't micromanage, and our managers don't micromanage. You get your job done, and we'll trust you to do that in the flexibility. But also, we try to make it fun, right? We do a lot of events. We do, a baseball game, Christmas parties, team building events. This can be a really stressful job. We have a lot of strict deadlines. There's a lot of, everything seems to be on fire sometimes, but but we really try to keep it friendly and calm and collaborative. And I think that really separates us. We are a place that people want to come to work and not feel like it's just a grind every day.
I completely agree. All right, last one. You're almost off the hot seat. Looking ahead, what are our goals and vision for the future of IDS? Where do you see the company heading in the years to come?
Yeah, so I think that growth for one, but the right kind of growth. I want to get better, but I want to get bigger, but I also want to get better. So I see us growing, but also taking on more complex projects as my experience grows, and really focusing in on where our strong suits are. And that really is the complex and large scale work that we're really good at. I also see us getting into other areas. We've recently started getting into joist and deck, and that team is growing, and I think there's other opportunities to really expand our offerings and be a one-stop shop.
I think that's what a lot of fabricators are looking for these days, a turnkey conversation.
Yep.
Well, speaking of conversation, you survived this one.
I did.
Thank you very much for your time and sharing the vision and the history of IDS. And for everybody else out there, stay tuned for our next conversation with more IDS employees. Thank you.
Thank you.